Hi everyone, it's Marcy, and I wanted to stop by to show you this, I don't even know what to call it, faux envelope that I made. I had seen a video uh, by Gail Augustinelli in which she got some Happy Mail, and part of the Happy Mail that she got was a similar type thing to this. Have no clue how it was made, but I couldn't get it out of my head, so I had to try making it. And here's what you flip up like an envelope, but then the bottom flips down, the sides flip out, and you've got all this writing journaling space. And something about it really struck me, and I just loved it. So I had to try to make one for myself, and I finally think I figured out how to do it. So I thought I'd jump on here and show you guys how I did it. I have no idea who came up with this. Perhaps the person that sent the Happy Mail, perhaps someone else. I'm not claiming that I came up with it. I just took what I saw in the video and tried to recreate it as best I could. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm using this journal page from Dear Julie Julie's Tea and Roses kit. And on the back side, I had avocado dyed some papers and then scanned them. So that's what I've got on the reverse side. Then I've got another sheet of paper that I've printed avocado dyed scans on both sides. And that's what I'll be using for this. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this down because basically I'm going to make an envelope using my envelope punch board. So mine will be, I forget what this size is. Three and a half, or I'm sorry, 3.5 by 4.5. Okay, so, sorry, I'd written some of the cut measurements down, but couldn't remember what size envelope it makes. So I need my paper to be 6 3/4 square. So I'm going to try to get this framed as best I can. To get what I want. Let's cut that a little more. There, and we'll cut some. Actually, I think I'm going to take that all the way to the 6 3/4. Apologize for my mumbling. I'm thinking as I'm cutting. And we'll cut there. Okay. So there's my 6 3/4 square paper, which is what I will need to make my envelope. So now I'm going to grab out my punch board, my envelope punch board, and I need to line it up at 3 inches. Basically for this first part, if you want to fast forward, you're going to make an envelope the size you want it. Here we go. And like I said, there may be a much easier way to make this. I tried a few things and finally found one that I could work with. Okay. Now, I'm going to... I wasn't paying attention, and that's not going to line up the way I want it to, but that's okay. All right. So I'm going to have that be the top flap. So I'm going to go ahead and corner the two sides and the top. I'm going to leave this bottom one. I will corner that, round the corner on that here in just a bit. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fold down my creases. All right, now I'm going to grab out my paper trimmer and I am going to trim right at the crease line for the bottom flap of the envelope. And if you're able to cut straight, you could certainly just do this with a pair of scissors. I don't trust myself to cut straight with a pair of scissors, which is why I love fussy cutting, because it's normally not straight. Okay. So I've cut off the bottom flap. Now, I'm going to set this aside for a moment, and I'm going to take my other sheet of paper, and I want my flap lined up as straight as possible on this sheet of paper. And I'm going to glue it down. Where did my glue pages go? I don't know. I'll just pull this out. And for this, I'm just going to use my Oohoo glue, just because it dries a little quicker. And, well, normally I would use my art glue, but I want to have just a second to be able to adjust this if need be. So you want the pointed side right at the edge of the paper. And you want the left side lined up with the paper. It's probably actually more important to get this left side lined up than the bottom, because you can just cut that away. All right. So now that's on. Close up my Oohoo and pull out my trimmer again. And I'm going to now trim my paper right at the right edge of my little triangle. And throw that in my scrap box. All right. Now, I'm going to cut away the excess on the triangle. And now I'm going to go ahead and round the corner. All right, so that's done. So, getting in too big of a hurry. Let me pull out my card and burnish that a little bit. All right, much better. Okay, now I'm pulling out my great big scoreboard, and I'm gonna line this up. It's easier for me to work from this end. My paper, this paper had a little bit of a white border, so I'd cut it away. So my paper now, from the tip of the envelope flap all the way up, is just under 10.5 inches. I'm going to score it at 10 inches. Basically, I'm going to make myself a little hinge. And again, you don't have to use your scoreboard for that. Just fold roughly a 1/2 inch hinge across the paper, and that works just fine. Okay, so now I am going to use my art glitter glue. Actually, I'm going to put my glue along the bottom edge here. Okay. You want your envelope flap face down with your hinge folded toward the envelope flap. Okay? Then, is that right? Is that right? I've already lost. Give me just a second. I got to remind myself what I did. Okay, strike that. Your envelope flap is here. You want your hinge folded, the edge of your hinge on the other side. Okay, then basically we want the hinge part to be right here at the bottom of our paper. So let me add a little more glue since I let that dry. And you want this centered and lined up to the bottom edge of what's remaining of your envelope. I don't know if you can see it there, but the edge of my paper peeks through a little bit. That's no big deal. I'll be distressing it. So, okay. So now you've got the top part of your envelope and you've got your bottom flap way down here. So what I did was I folded it up and then I folded it back down, sort of an accordion fold, and I'm lining up now the bottom edge of my envelope flap with the bottom edge of this paper. Some adjustment once you get it done, you may want to make some adjustments. See, like here, mine got a little wonky. So I will go in. The same side got wonky on me when I did it the first time. There, that's better. So you just refold it a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to use my bone folder and give myself some nice pretty creases. And voila, you've got an envelope that when opened, you have all this journaling space, and you can use the front and the back. So then the only other thing would be, still don't have that lined up real well. Okay. So fold those in, fold that up, fold this down, and you've got your envelope. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly use a little bit of Distress ink and distress around some of my edges. I'm just using a little vintage photo, not going real dark, just basically outlining the edges a bit. And this is where distressing can kind of come in a little bit handy, so that if your bottom edges aren't precisely lined up, your distressing will disguise some of that. All right. There we go. Got to go around the front here. Okay, now I made some stamps using some of Dear Julie's kit, and one of those might be nice for the closure. I think that one will do just fine. So use a little bit of my art glitter glue, and I'm not going to glue all the way up to the top. And go, because the envelope widens as it goes. Put that down. Now the envelope, the top can be tucked in there, and you've got, I don't know what to call it, a faux envelope, flip up, flip down. I have no clue what to call it, but I love this. I love this idea. And anyway, I just thought I'd jump on here real quick and show you this. I may go back and add some lace and a little more decoration to this. And probably what I will do, honestly, what I'm thinking is if I set it in my journal, I'd probably make it a pocket and glue down these three sides. That way everything still opens up and you can pull it out and have a whole bunch of journaling space. I think it's probably how I will do mine. You could do the same way, the same thing, put it in as a tuck, as long as, so really what's on the back, on this side, well, unless you were going to make it a floating thing where you were going to make a pocket and put it in, then you'd probably want to decorate this. But if you're just going to make it a pocket or something, then this side becomes the back side and it doesn't really matter. So you just decorate the flap side. Anyway, that's it. I was so excited when I finally figured out how to make one of these. After I'd seen it, I had to jump on and share that with you. So let me know what you think, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.